Unpopular opinion. Moving to California was one of the biggest waste of times of my life. Currently, Sun in Leo, Moon in Aquarius. When I moved to California 18 months ago, the Sun was in Aquarius, the Moon was in Leo. This was a bad decision that I made. Probably one of the worst decisions I intentionally made. I wanted to be closer to E, and that was a bad decision. I never asked E how much money he was making, how much money that business was making that they were doing. It wasn't even his business. It was his friend's business. All of those things failed. Everything that happened in that house failed. The business with David Carter failed. The sales business failed. And they just didn't have, a deal must have had no experience hiring people or firing people. So I have no idea where they even found Rashad and David. The Forex idea failed. Literally everything in that house failed. Interesting enough, I always wondered why E was getting kicked out of Ty's events. I was like, why is he getting kicked out? I never asked, why is he getting kicked out of his events? And it's probably because he didn't have the money to pay for it. If he didn't have the money to pay for it, why does he keep showing up? What was there even to gain by showing up if you weren't producing? And even when I lived there, I didn't see him producing. Which was the point of us moving there. Not for some people to produce and some to not produce. Otherwise, it didn't make sense for us all to live in the same house. It was all a fail. And what did I give up? I gave up my friendship with Harry. I gave up my relationship with my dog Tiberi. I ran away from the relationship I had with Faith. I gave up the relationship I had with Sydney. Bree. Not Bree. Well, I almost gave it up with Bree. And Earth. The relationship I had with 4 of the girls I was dating. For what? To be around another guy who, at the beginning of the day, we're supposed to be running separate businesses. And for some reason, I decided that I needed to be in his business, which wasn't even his business. It was his friend's business. Because I just felt dissatisfied and lost, and I was recovering from the bad relationship I was in when I kicked Jarrell out of my house. So I made one bad decision, got out of it and got into an even worse decision. Did not reflect nearly long enough. And really, I've only been able to reflect this clearly after 18 months, a year and a half. So something soon is to pop up that'll steer me off course again. Could be this thing where Akeem is talking about me buying or me looking for a house and he'll pay me half a commission or something like that. Like, just pay me the whole commission. Like, that's simple as that. Oh no, if he means the buyer, well, buyer doesn't pay a commission. Seller pays the commission. So I guess he just, I don't know. He wasn't clear. So he's confused that he's just gonna do the work for himself. Yeah, that's what's gonna happen with him. So moving over there was a bad decision, man. Everything failed. The people I was living with were failures. There's no reason for all those people to be living there. We're bringing in way too many people just to take up space, resources. It didn't make sense why E was paying for other people to live there when he doesn't even know these people and he's never even seen them make money, which is the point of the operation, is to operate. So they had grandiose dreams. So that's an unpopular opinion. Never should have moved to California. Everything when I moved there failed. I smoked way too much weed. I drank way too much alcohol. I smoked way too much weed. I almost died when I went to Colombia. I didn't need to go on that trip to Colombia. Truth be told, if I wouldn't have gone to California, I wouldn't have gone on that trip to Colombia. And I wouldn't have almost died. To Atlantis. I wouldn't have almost died in Atlantis. So, I don't know. Atlantis or not. I did go crystal crazy. Spending lots of money on crystals, and I did discover the Philosopher's Stone. But was it worth it to give up all of my friends? Not all of my friends, but my really good friend Harry. Very reliable, dependable. The relationship I had with the girls I was dating, 4 of them, I was really working the field. And my building ultimately, because I didn't spend enough time making sure that it was leased. So then when I did get back, my attention was all over the place. I was frantic. I was in a desperate situation. I was forced to come back. My dad had came back into my life more than he needed to. I told him he could live at the house while I was gone. He put some crazy person in there. Didn't ever live at the house. Then I had to evict this crazy person. Then I got smoked a lot more weed. Then I evicted put another crazy person in there. Had to evict them. Then I kept smoking more weed. And the friendship that I had with Jack, I messed up because I was smoking weed and I said some misogynistic things where I just asked the girl to suck my dick. And that was to one of his friends, and it threw the whole, I basically got ostracized by those people because I kept smoking so much weed. And I didn't even start smoking that much or even feel bad about any of those things until I got back from California, because I just had another failure. So, man, that unpopular opinion, man, like that whole 2020 just went really downhill after that first month, that first full moon in Leo. And I was having people come over, hang out, I had more friends, solid connections. The connections I did have were good as they were. Then I saw sides of E I didn't need to see. Saw sides of a deal which I didn't need to see. I saw less sides of myself, which I needed. I didn't even have my own room. I went over there the first time, didn't have my own room. Okay, that was a flag. Then I went over there again and didn't have a room. So the fact that I didn't say something the first time, when I own a whole house, at the time I owned 8 units and a house, but I can't get my own room. My priorities were messed up before I went there, and they got worse. They definitely got worse after I got there. Like it was getting kind of better. Well, I don't know what it was getting, but the fact that I had downsized intentionally from a house to living on someone's couch just shows how bad I felt after that business didn't work out. That doesn't even make any sense. I messed up, but I'm not like that. I'm not a failure. The business just didn't work because the dude didn't work. It wasn't the plan. The plan was fine. We made the adjustments. We got rid of the dude who was making the plan not work. Harry and I got rid of the dude. So me feeling bad, like I just made the wrong play. Like that just happens in the game. But then I started making just a ton of bad plays. Gave up my dog to Beery to move there for this so-called great opportunity. Man, I got finessed again off these opportunities that everybody has, but nobody can explain. And nobody can show. I don't ask for proof either. So it's just like, man, what's wrong with me? I mean, I know what's wrong with me then. I'm good now because I'm reflecting on it, but this is definitely an unpopular opinion. Reflection on the past 18 months. All right.